Celebrating 30 years of phenomenal trend forecasting, 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. Here's Gerald Celente with today's trends in the news.
Hi, this is Gerald Celente. It's Thursday, December 29th, 2016, and here are some of today's trends in the news. On the market front, only the Hang Seng and FTSE are up a little bit. Gold is up. Everything else is down. So, over here in the States, oil went down. How come? Well, you know the story. Oil prices dipped on Thursday after a surprise increase in U.S. inventories, reversed and advanced in prices. You're going to see more production as prices go higher. So we think gold, again, $60 is our limit as things stand now. Again, there are always the wild cards that could change the equation, but absent of that, you see what's going on. Crude stocks rose 614,000 barrels in a week of December 23rd. Analysts polled before the report had forecast that inventories would decline by 2.1 million barrels. And gold. How come gold is up? Gold is up because it's near the bottom. That's all. And it's a good buy right now. I guess that's why the prices are going up. So any kind of excuse you give, there really isn't anything there. It's nothing goes straight up and nothing goes straight down. We think gold is around near the bottom of its downward trajectory for a while. But gold prices, even though they've gone down, they're up about 8% for 2016. And looking at the economy here in the States, holiday shoppers were in good spirits. They suggest that excluding autos and car parts, fuels, and restaurant sales, holiday sales growth increased almost 5%, 4.9%. Early tallies indicate higher sales this year amid better prospects for jobs and wage growth. Again, the trend is your friend. You see where this is going, you play into it. That's what we see anyway. Electric cars still unprofitable. You know, there's a lot to say about this because the batteries are limited. And that's really one of the big costs there as well. And some companies are trying to make their own batteries. They're buying them from others. So until they get that down, we see it plateauing, slow growth, moderate. It's a battery issue. You put too much energy into those things, baboom, they're off the charts. And speaking of off the charts, China's currency drops, but the pressure keeps building. The yuan dropped 7% against the dollar this year. That is nearly double the drop from the year before, taking the currency on a round trip to levels last seen before the global financial crisis. It's at an 8-year low. The outflows are continuing, and Beijing continues to fight mightily against them. Third quarter of this year, through the third quarter, Chinese expended $300 billion in reserves on balance of payment basis, intervening in the currency markets. So there's really no end in sight with this. And there's going to continue to be problems. The stronger the dollar gets, the weaker these currencies go. So while gold prices may be going down or leveling out now, as the dollar gets stronger, it weakened a bit today, but it's only temporary, we believe. You're going to start seeing real crises happening in these emerging markets that borrowed that $10 trillion in dough from cheap bucks. Now they have to pay it back as their economies continue to decline. House flipping makes comeback as prices rise. It's still small, it's not real big, but now people see the market's going up, the housing market is strong, they're flipping again. Is that going to be enough to cause a crisis? We don't think so. When you look at the other financial crises, you go down to the dot-com one back in 2000, it was built on false expectations. Nobody knew what they were talking about back then. And that boosted the market artificially. You go back to the real estate bubble with the phony derivatives and all those loans that they gave people that weren't qualified for them, and all of the dirty bank dealings going on, that was a reason for the bubble to pop. No income verification loans, like they have with those car loans. You're going to start seeing that one go down. But that's not big enough of a market, we believe, to bring the whole market down. However, as we're looking at it being inflated because of all the stock buybacks, that's going to drive down the price of stocks at some point, but we don't believe at the crisis level at this time to compare to a 2000 or a 2008 panic. Moving on to some other news, very important. It's one of your top trends of 2017. Ontrendpreneur. That's right, we call them and they write about them later. Tiny firms. Number of one-person companies soar. Small scale, big growth. More and more people striking out on their own, wanting to make their own future. There's plenty of opportunities. You look at your top trends for 2017. We outline a number of them there, from true nostalgia to make it new, on and on and on. And we'll be updating our Ontrendpreneur opportunities throughout the year. The facts are here. People do not want to work as a slave in slave landia for the multinationals, working a lot and making nothing. And one of your top trends again, buy and sell China. And what's another one? You got it. Rust Belt 2.0, Silicon Valley. Yeah, the con man of Silicon Valley. New battleground opens in China's tech war. Chinese web firms go head-to-head in neighboring region, and challenges await. Shows how China's moving across the world, across the region. Their infrastructure of high tech is going to take a lot of business away, not only from China taking it away, but from South Korea, Japan, other nations as well. Singapore, a new battleground is emerging for China's internet companies. A fast-growing multinational market in Asia with almost double the U.S. population. And speaking about China, hey, the New York Times did a big story on it today. Front page. Yeah, look at that big picture they got there, huh? China's iPhone city built on billions in perks. Now you expect to open it up and see a lot of big pictures in the front section. No, New York Times, man, they're taking a new view. They put the big pictures into the B section. Look at this stupidity. Little arrogant boys of the New York Times putting out more.
That was bullshit.
Yep. Look at the size of these photos. If a picture speaks 1,000 words, these pictures speak one. Hey, look at a guy in the truck eating them noodles. Wow, that's an important story. How many of you editors got together in the New York Times to pick out these stupid little stories? Well, all the news going on around the world that you keep avoiding because you're prostitutes. Hey, but here's the big story today. Moving on. Obama went, promised to put those sanctions on them Russians, and he did it. Expels 35 Russian diplomats, closes office. This guy's leaving office and he's doing this. What has he got, 20-something days left? So, what do the Russians say about it? Quote, you realize, of course, reciprocal steps will be made, and the U.S. Embassy in Moscow and quite possibly the consulates will be cut down to size as well, said the Deputy Foreign Policy Minister in the Russian Duma told TASS news agency. So Russia's denied the hacking. This is from The Hill, hardly a left-wing organization. Obama under pressure to prove Russian interference in election. They showed us no proof. They're putting out the maybes. But here's where they get off. But officials have warned that the documents will contain highly sensitive and classified information, and it's unclear how much concrete evidence it will be able to release to the public. Don't you love that? Hey, the democracy of the United States. We're too stupid to see it. They're going to make up crap. Hey, Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction and ties to Al-Qaeda. Yeah, Gulf of Tonkin incident that never happened. We got to stop that Gaddafi. He's going to kill his people. Got to kill him and about 30,000 others before he kills them. And here they keep going. No proof, more hatred, more stupidity, and good for Trump calling him out on this. Let's grow up with this. Because this is what Gcelente paper does not report. Coalition airstrike in Syria killed 33 civilians, including 10 children. Combined task force. This is how stupid, how arrogant and ignorant these military mindset people have. You know what they call this thing as they're dropping bombs on people? I got a good name for you, folks. Operation Inherent Resolve. How about Operation Inherently Immoral? Quote, takes all allegations of civilian casualties seriously, and this intent will be fully investigated and findings released in a timely and transparent manner. The coalition bullshitted, vomited out their crap as they always do, and the little prostitutes from the New York slime, the Cartoon News Network, give them a free ride. You know why? They're prostitutes. They bend over to take it. Yeah, they get paid to put out, and they don't put out news. They put out propaganda. Duterte to forge closer ties with Russia. That's right. They're all coming together as the United States is pulling away, but I believe it's going to change under Trump. Putin may get an ally in France. That's right, Fillon, one of the leading candidates over there, Francois Fillon and Marie Le Pen. They're tired of these Russian allegations and sanctions. They want peace. But Obama wants war, and all you liberals, you love it, don't you, huh? You little cowardly people that loved Hitlery, and you're so sad from November 8th because you love people in there that slaughter other people and say, we came, we saw, he died, hee, like Hitlery did when she was interviewed on CBS to ask how she felt about Muammar Gaddafi being murdered. Sodomized, murdered. And speaking of sore losers, George Soros. Trump is a con artist and a would-be dictator. He's a guy that supported Hillary Clinton and has been supporting a lot of those other revolutions around the world. Here's what he wrote, and this is why it's important to read history before it happens. Now, when it comes to making money, I couldn't come close to Soros if I lived 1,000 lifetimes. But when it comes to intelligence, it seems like Soros drops the ball. Here he goes. I am confident that democracy will prove resilient in the U.S., its constitution and institutions, including the Fourth Estate, are strong enough to resist the excesses of the executive branch, thus preventing a would-be dictator, like Trump, from becoming an actual one. Hey, George, read the TrendsJournal. One of our top trends for 2017, Fourth Estate, rest in peace. It does not exist. I'm showing the TrendsJournal subscribers how worthless the mainstream media has become. There is no Fourth Estate. They're media whores that get paid off by the Wall Street gang and the D.C. Beltway mob. That's all it is. Fourth Estate, it's a joke. Again, Trump only didn't beat Clinton. He beat the mainstream media. You all got it wrong, Fourth Estate. You zeroed out. There is no Fourth Estate. But that's where it's going. Down, down, down. And they're trying to prop it up with this fake news stories as they keep putting it out more and more. So, it's New Year's time. We'll be back on Tuesday. Have a very, very happy New Year. Felice Anno Nuovo. And may your new year be filled with joy and beauty. This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's trends in the news.